Hi everyone. So today in this video, we are going to focus on how we can use this template called number of the day template. All right, and this is something that you can use as a daily practice, like a daily drill and practice tool. And of course, in class, you could print little copies of it, and you can use this to put up our learning and decorate our classroom. Actually, so number of day is one of the very common templates for conceptual practice, and you can find many of this kind of templates by just Googling online. I've put together some various ideas focusing on four main concepts for the chapter on numbers to 100. So the four main things that I put together will be: number one, reading a whole number by itself, writing a whole number, making a whole number using base 10 and sets on the call it number blocks, counting, so making and counting the number, and then comparing and ordering. The main purpose of this number of day is to really put into practice recognizing a whole number by itself, a 2-digit or 3-digit whole number. In this case, it's more of the 2-digit. It was doing numbers 100 at primary 1, but I've included the hundreds place as well. Okay, so that we can be more familiar. We can familiarize ourselves with the 100 block. Now, so the main purpose is to really practice tens and ones, counting tens and ones and making tens and ones, and reading a whole number on its own. Not so much of comparing, ordering, and pattern finding, but this one of these things that you could include and there's additional practice developing depending on the creativity of children, whether they are ready to design their own patterns or put it in the way of locating a number on the number line. We'll see more of these examples later. So anyway, so here are some examples. Okay, and that's included of 10 more, 10 less, 1 more, 1 less. Again, it's focusing on the place value. Okay, here are some examples. And yes, you can go beyond 100. And here. Okay, so the idea of using this, well, prior to using this, actually there's other tool that it's kind of like a progression. So prior to using that chart, 100 tens and ones, we were actually doing numbers to 20 or numbers just beyond 20. So moving from 10 frames, okay, seeing groups of 10 frames, and towards the number block base 10 set. So you can see sticks of 10, blocks of 100, and squares of ones easily. So the progression is from 10 frames. So previously, from numbers to 20, that's what we practice. And of course, right before this, there were a lot of hands-on activities on how you make groups and sticks of 10 and identify sticks of 10. So it was 10 and 4, 10 and 12, 10 and 5 to be able to familiarize with making numbers beyond 10. So you have 1, 10 and 4 ones. So generalize the idea of a stick of 10 and little ones, and be able to really fill in a 10 frame, recognizing 10 frames. So as we are familiar with this and we do on the activities, it's good to extend it to children to ask, okay, if I have 2 tens and 0 ones, what it looks like, that's 20, and then you have 2 tens and say 5 ones, and you could naturally progress to be able to see 2 sticks of 10 and 5 little ones. Okay, as they can progress, slowly you move away from the 10 frames and see groups of 10 instead. Okay, so this is the prior learning experience to numbers to 100. So before this, there's a lot of counting, there's a lot of practicing grouping intents. So and then this one is a daily, for example, like here, 53 was the example by our student. You could roll a dice for this, or you could pick a random number of today's date. So for example, I can have 21, and I can practice spelling and writing the number, filling in the tens and ones. Okay, 21. So I have 2 sticks of 10. And 1 little one. So that will be 2 sticks of 10. 1, 1. So it's 20 plus 1. So it's 21. 2 tens, 1, 1. And then you have 21 in the middle. Okay, at this point reference to the previous video on the 100 chart, I could look at the 100 chart again and give that practice of seeing 1 more, 1 less, and 10 more, 10 less. Okay, and at this point, you could encourage looking for the number 21 on the number line. So for example, if this is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, I can try to identify 21, like somewhere here. Or I could run by a pattern. Say if I want to do not even and odd number, so I can go by counting tens, for example, as a pattern, 11, 21, 31, 41, and so on. Okay, so this is the video on how I can use the number of the day template using it as a daily practice. Again, I will repeat the 4 main points of numbers to 100: reading, writing, making, counting, comparing, ordering. So comparing, ordering, it comes as one together. So number 1, you have reading, writing, making, counting, comparing, and ordering. So we will look at the next video on how we can do comparing, ordering. This is another template which you can see. Check out the next video on comparing, ordering using this template. On the other side, many of our children have already received this template on very similar template, but some differences. Okay. Okay, so thank you.